So today we are going to hear from Antonelle first. She's going to read from her new release, Big Cross Dead, which just came out last month. And so exciting to have another book from you. Can you go ahead and tell us about the book and set up the scene for us?
Sure. I consider Big Cross Dead to be a suspense romance blend. Let me show you. The cover doesn't give you any clue that there's a romance going on, but there is. What it does give you a clue to, though, is that there might be something nefarious going on. Photographer Carl and and soap maker Aspen have been seeing one another. In this scene, Carl is supposed to be editing nighttime drone footage taken at a large lighted cross in hopes of using it in her portfolio. Instead, she's reflecting on last night. Walking through the entry door to the barn's living space the previous night was like stepping into heaven. The scents of soaps and the wafts of Aspen's signature scent were as enticing as Aspen's lips. Carl hadn't let that deter her from her culinary obligations, though. Had she not been so focused on the garlic bread being ready just as the Parmesan the Alfredo sauce combined perfectly with the pasta, Carl was sure she could have been lured away from the range. She remained on task, even remembering to warm the pasta bowls. Carl praised Aspen's red wine as a perfect match with her sauce, body enough to stand up to the richness, but acidic enough to bring balance. If this was an example of a local wine, she looked forward to the trip to the winery. Aspen seemed to have enjoyed her meal. She had certainly moaned enough, and Carl loved the sound of Aspen's moan. While they had planned to make it an overnight for efficiency of travel to the winery, Aspen's mother had called and said it would be best if they came Sunday morning. Disappointing, yes, but she had nothing but positive memories about the evening. She was proud of their self restraint. They had only shared a few hello and goodbye kisses. The barn's living space sported some lovely black and white photographs of young Aspen and a young man dancing. Thinking back on their discussion, Carl could understand the appeal of dance, and the photographs captured Aspen's fervor. One of the photographs was magazine worthy. Aspen, the obvious subject, with movement a key element of the composition. The skirt glided up, blurred with movement. One side of Aspen's hair, a few inches longer than she wore it now, was also blurred. The expression on her face was absolute delight, side smile and eyes open in surprise. Her face was in perfect focus. The guy was simply an object to balance the photo, holding Aspen's hand, her arm outstretched toward the lower right quarter of the shot. Wow, did you have photographers at all your dances? Oh, that's a reverse swing out arm hook turn, Aspen had described. There were professional photographers at the competitions, yes. Carl thoroughly enjoyed Aspen's excitement while she described that dance and had studied Aspen's face as she talked. She was growing to love everything about that face, the small lines surrounding the edges of her eyes, the semicircles that formed around her mouth, especially when she spoke or laughed. Things that often make a woman nearing 50 feel self conscious, Carl revered. She could not think of anyone as beautiful as Aspen. Carl shook her head to return to focus on the video footage she had shot 2 nights before. She placed the SD card in a reader to transfer the video and work her editing app's magic. She played the video first through at a quick speed, making notes of glaring issues that should be cut. At the point where the center of the cross was visible, she stopped the footage and ran through that section again, slower. There was some sort of bundle of wood or sticks, which she hadn't noticed. Although she suspected the editing software could obscure the item, it looked as though it could be a deterrent to that perfect sweeping shot. On the sharpest frame, she enlarged the image to its maximum. Holy crap, is that a A lump formed in her throat as she squinted at the image, trying to make it be something other than a hand protruding from the stick pile.
Oh my God, that's where you're leaving us.
Yep.
Wow. You know, it's interesting because you kind of fall into this romantic scene where, you know, you can see there's an attraction, and you're talking about the photo and the perfect moment that's captured. And then the end of your scene is, of course, something much more sinister that's happening. So, way to go. That sounds a little scary. I want to know what happens next. Thanks for sharing that with us. That was
Oh,
wonderful.
sure.